I was not raised Christian. Up until my early 20s, I was basically signed up to most progressive ideas. But I have ended up concluding, sort of from first principles, that actually the Christian worldview, including Christian sexual morality, is really the best we have, pretty much. And I certainly don't think that the status quo is preferable. And for all of the trade-offs, of which there are many, I think that a system of morality that withstood nearly 2,000 years and led to the creation of some of the most impressive civilizational achievements of human history has a lot going for it and is clearly capable of encouraging human flourishing in a way that our current improvised and obviously deeply flawed system of morality isn't, because it's already evident that the spirit of the 1960s has caused a lot of harm. I think it's already evident that it's not working. We've run the experiment, and already it's creating terrible problems and all sorts of unsustainable. It seems so clear to me that this experiment has failed. And so if that's the case, we can't. I think the error of progressivism and of leftism in general is to think that you can design society from the ground up, that you can do away with all of the silly old conventional wisdom and you can just design it anew. And it's also one of the rhetorical advantages that progressives have, that they never have to say, what they can offer is some future scenario where everything is good and where we've won and we have our new utopian society, which leaves no space for human nature, right? But which I promise you, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Whereas what the conservatives have to do is to reject that fantasy and say, let's look at societies that have actually existed and have actually worked, and let's look at what they got right and let's try and implement it in our own societies. And of course, the problem with doing that is you end up having to confront the baseness of humans, and the fact that there are always trade-offs. There is always sadness and disappointment and difficulty in every era, in every society. There are always problems. But I think that what we actually have to choose from are real societies that have actually existed and have actually functioned, not this fantasy in the future. I think the fantasy is very deceptive and politically pernicious. And I think, maybe there is some scenario where you can successfully manage human sexual relationships without anyone ever feeling any sadness and without anything ever going wrong. I don't think it's very plausible, though. I think that what's more likely is that we have to basically choose from the, as Churchill said, democracy is the least worst option. I think that also comes to Christian sexual morality and the Christian worldview in general. The question then is, do you have to sign up to the whole package? Do you have to believe as well? And is it possible to sustain a society that has basically a Christian worldview without anything upstairs, without actually believing? And I don't know if that's the case. And I guess we'll just have to find out.